this, and these two are in the book. When I went to an SI course, I think it was about the same time I taught this class last year, and I was supposed to update this. There's that SI bone that I told you about. They basically have some criteria. They basically say out of 5 special tests, and I know I've only given you 3 here. Out of 5 special tests, 3 of 5 have to be positive in order for it to be an SI problem. All right. Now that's interesting because a couple of times, you know, the doctor sends it to me and said they have a right SI problem. I do these 5 tests and they only have 2 out of 5 positive. So now I'm at a bit of a conundrum, right? What they're saying is this isn't a positive test, but they're still looking like an SI. So do I still treat them like an SI? Absolutely. But they're saying certainly for surgical cases, they want at least 3 out of these 5. So if you will, add to your list down here, and these are very easy. 2 of them are in the book. One of them is called SI compression. One of them is called SI distraction. We'll go over those in a second. And one of them is called thigh thrust. So there are 5 tests that they're saying are, they're not using Gillette. So out of their 5, they're saying Gainsland's, Patrick / Favors, that's the same, SI compression, SI distraction, thigh thrust. Those 5 tests, we need 3 of those 5 to be positive. All right? Understand that concept? So we'll go through those. They're actually all really easy tests. And really, it's most all of the tests are pain provocation tests. So basically what that means is if I do it and it hurts, it's positive. If I do it and it doesn't hurt, it's negative. All right? So it's unlike an ACL test where we pull and it's really more does it move. This is more push, hurts, positive. Push doesn't hurt, negative. Right? So let's have someone come up and we'll go through these tests. Stand right here first. The first test is Gillette's side, face that way. This is one of those concepts where we're trying to identify if it's the left or the right side. I don't do this test real well, but basically what all you're supposed to do is palpate the PSIS, and you're going to have them march, right? And basically what you're feeling for, does the PSIS rotate or move inferiorly equally on either side? If it doesn't move, right, that would indicate hypomobility, meaning it's tight, or if it's painful, then that might give you an idea. So if I had a Gillette sign that was positive on the right, when I laid them down and did that test, and if their right leg was shorter, I would think posterior. So all this is trying to do is kind of what her question was, trying to help me decide, is it a right or a left problem? Okay? So that's Gillette's. So again, let's actually turn you maybe like this, for these guys so we can see it up here. Just teasing. That just gives more people a view. So you're just going to take, I would be more square in here, but we're just for viewing purposes, I'm going to be, so we're just finding her PSIS, If she needed to, we could be standing close to something for balance. If she doesn't need to, again, all I'm feeling for is what's happening at my fingers. So take your left leg and march it straight up in the air. Perfect. And when she does that, what my finger does is like that. That's called the PSIS is moving down. That's all I'm feeling for. And then we do it on the right side. And again, what I'm saying is that quantity of motion the same? Does the right and the left move the same when she marches? If it does, negative test. If it doesn't, it's a positive test. And it's usually the side that doesn't move as well as positive. Lay to your side. Yeah, either side. Just lay on your side. So SI compression is really easy. We're just compressing the SI joint. You don't have to do it lying down on your side. That's generally the way you can get the most compression. So this is not on your sheet. It is in the book. But again, it's a pain provocation. It's a very easy test. So basically, I'm here and I push down. Now, if she says, that hurts my other hip, she might have a little bit of greater trochanteric bursitis, or it might just hurt because I'm driving her into the table. Really, when I push here, I'm looking for pain kind of at that PSIS or ASIS area. Okay? So
and that was which
SI
one?
Compression.
SI compression.
SI compression. Lay back to your back. SI distraction is where I take kind of, and then this is one of these that's kind of a little awkward if people are ticklish, but I take my hand on the outside of her hip, or right on the inside of her hip like that, and I'm going to take my other one like this, and I'm separating, right? So I'm separating in the front to see if I feel anything in the back. So again, the positive pain would be back here. So if she says it hurts where I'm pushing, or if she feels something greater trochanter, that's not a positive test. It's only positive if we have pain back at the SI joint. So it's again here, and I'm just kind of pushing apart. So I'm doing that type of motion, all right? So that's 2 of the 5, SI compression, SI distraction, right? This is the third one is one that I think is probably the best one, but it's not in our book. And it's called a thigh thrust, and it's just in this position, and all I'm doing is just pushing directly down like that, okay? So I'm trying to drive her leg back, and again, we're seeing, are we producing pain back in the back? This is something that, again, we don't have necessarily taught to us today, but our doctor that does the injections, he likes this technique, especially if it's hypomobile. So again, we would not do this if it were hypermobile, but if we did the Gillette's test and we weren't seeing anything and we thought she's a hypomobile person, he does something called the block and rock. It's really kind of a simple process. Basically, you're just taking a little block. In our case, we use like TheraBand rolls, like empty TheraBand rolls, and we wrap up like Coban around them for a little bit of like cushioning. So we got a little bitty roll, and we put it right back kind of on her sacrum, and then I do this, so that's the block, and then I rock, which means I'm mobilizing. So it's like an SI mobilization technique. Again, if they're hypermobile, that's a no-go. But if they're hypomobile, you could use the thigh thrust, right? So thigh thrust is number 3. We good on those 3? But those 3 aren't written on your handout. That 2 of the 3 are in your book. The other one's not. All right, we good? So Patrick's test. Patrick's test is also called Faber's. We like to use it as Faber's because it just stands for what you do. F is for flexion, AB, abduction, external rotation, ER. So Faber's is just this position here, right? And then we're kind of stabilizing here, and we're pushing her leg down. Her leg should come at least parallel to the other side. We can have a couple of different things. She might have a stretch here, that's not a problem. If we have pain back at the SI, that's a positive Faber's test, right? If there's pain out at the hip joint or in the hip crease, that's not a positive Faber's for what we're looking for, right? So it's this position pushing down, right? Patrick's and Faber's, all right? They're the same.
Would that hurt the other side of your SI?
It could hurt the other side of the SI, and if it hurt the other side, again, that might, again, that would still be considered possibly a positive, all right? And then we would have to maybe, well, we would probably do the other side and see if that also hurts that side. If so, that's definitely a positive, all right? Gainsland's is lay on your side again for me. It's kind of an extension type of test. Basically, you're giving an overpressure. How our SI doctor does this, instead of doing it like this, he does it where we kind of lean back and take up all the slack and kind of go back. And if I'm going back, that's kind of compressing the SI joint. Gainsland's kind of tries to do the same thing. We're going to take this bottom leg and bring it up like so. We're going to take this leg like so. And all I'm doing is kind of stabilizing and then kind of forcing her into extension. Trying to closing down the SI joint, right? Kind of bringing the SI joint close together. Pain provocation on the top is a positive sign, okay?
The leg on the bottom that is flexed
What?
up, how
Yeah.
does it have to be like
Doesn't
90
have to be a
degrees or
certain
anything?
height. It's
No?
just really
Okay.
more of kind of getting that side to rotate in the opposite direction and to provide kind of stability for the action.
Okay.
So that's the 5 tests. You're all good. So let's do those. Actually, that's the 5 tests. We need 3 out of those 5 kind of for the new criteria. We have 6 total if we count Gillette's. So let's do those 6 tests, right?